Alright, can't put a piece here. Brain is creating a thought. We know that everything comes from the brain. Belief, science, concepts, everything comes from the brain. I'm going to talk today about Abrahamic religions, the so-called Abrahamic religions. All religions in the ancient world originated from the Book of the Dead, as I said in my previous video. There are two ways that you can spread the belief. One is by writing epigraphy, symbols. The other one is by voice, memory, product of the brain. The most typical way to distribute belief in the ancient world and all the tribes and all that is by oral tradition. One example is the Incas. They didn't have any writing. Everything was oral. The problem with oral tradition is memory happening in the brain. You can have false memories, and you can pick up different type of tales over time, and it took over hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of years. The meaning is different, has been distorted.
It all presents a breakthrough in the understanding of memory itself.
Yes, and chemicals, can fix it.
For more than a century, scientists have known that memory is stored within the connections between brain cells.
That's reality.
Each connection, the cells grow towards each other so that signals can pass more readily between them. But how these connections represent experiences is not understood.
Yes.
How it's stored is one of nature's magnificent secrets. That's one of the things everybody wants to know.
Something as complex as a memory be conjured up from mere connections between cells.
You're asking the most fundamental question in brain research. It's not specific to memory. It's how do we represent things, even in the here and now. How do I store what you look like in the context of these connections amongst brain cells?
Yeah, brain is amazing.
And memory also has that challenge.
Universe within.
Not only is it representing what you look like, it in some ways representing what you look like.
There is no God. God is just an invention of the brain.
What we're certain about was that once a memory was born, it was fixed forever.
Right. God and religious beliefs is a form of mental illness, a dysfunction of the brain. These false memories are clearly illustrated in a case that happened in California. School teachers were accused of pedophilia, molesting children by
victims. Many of the charges were thought to be the result of recovered memory syndrome.
Recovered memory, see that?
We dig too deeply into our past, and we say to ourselves, as in the recovered memory therapy, that
Satan is an invention of Christians.
But after exhaustive investigations into hundreds of cases, the FBI found little evidence of ritual satanic abuse. No bodies, no blood,
that's right.
No bones, no signs of ceremony.
There is no Christ, and no Peter, and no Mary, and no miracles, and no God. Retards.
Been discredited.
And no.
There are groups that firmly believe in demonic possession.
Yeah, retards.
And the power of exorcism.
Idiots. Ask ourselves, what's God? What religion came from? Where faith come from? And of course, they're nothing but chemical reactions in the brain. That's the creation of God. That's true. That's proven by neurology. When a belief, such a rational belief in God, is accepted as reality, faith, by an educated person, it's fair to say that the person exhibits the symptom of schizotypal or schizophrenia, which is basically the same. It's the acceptance of imaginary entities and delusions as if they were reality. Abrahamic religions are Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And the reason is because they all are connected to a mythological character named Abraham, or Ibrahim, that actually was ordered to God by sacrifice son, Isaac or Ishmael, and which is a belief of Jews, Muslims, and Christians. All a fairy tale. This fairy tale seems to have originated by the oral tradition of Hellenism, the time of the god Alexander the Great, and later in the Roman Empire by the god Iulius Caesar Christ. and his subsequent divisions of his cult, the cult of Divus Iulius, which led to be actually Judaism and Christianity, and much later Islam. All because of the oral tradition and the distortions of the oral tradition. This is Mount Moriah, where the temple, Roman temple, once stood, the source of all the problems. Here it is again. Here is the Annunciation, the busy Gabriel announcing everything. He was always everywhere doing all kinds of things. And he is preventing Abraham from killing his son, and here is dictating to Matthew some of the Testament. In the city of Alia Capitolina, in other words, Jerusalem, called Jerusalema, it was a temple built over the temple destroyed by the Romans. Temples were all treasury. They kept the treasury there. And the emperor, son of God, Hadrian, built in about 120 a temple in Mount Moriah, rebuild the temple. Now, in that temple is what the fairy tales of the oral tradition of Abrahamic religion say, that Abraham, the angel Gabriel, was the one that stopped Isaac from, Abraham from sacrificing his son Isaac. And from that temple, from that Mount Moriah, he went to heaven. But also in Islam, that's when the Prophet Muhammad, also after taking a tour of heaven in a flying horse, he went also ascended to heaven. And in the same temple, Jesus Christ, which was nothing but Iulius Caesar, also ascended to heaven, guided by angels. The same place. And the Annunciation, which happened supposedly in Bethlehem, was done by who? The angel Gabriel. Angel Gabriel, this creature, this winged entity, which is nothing but a Nike, a victory symbol, is everywhere in the three mythologies.
The enormous plaza in front of the wall has become, in effect, an open-air synagogue.
Second temple is like 120, about the year 120.
From Sabbath to the high holy days,
The second diaspora.
and bar mitzvahs, all are said to have special meaning here.
And see the miniature Kaabas these Jews wear in their heads? These little cubes? It's just like the Muslim Kaaba, the city of Mecca. Same thing. See that? That black stone? There's a meteorite in there, the Kaaba. All from the Roman Empire. There used to be temples there. In the menorah, which is the 7 candelabra of the Vestal Virgins, the table of the Holy Presence, which is the Roman altar, and the trumpet of truth, which is also a Roman religious symbol.
Have been a gate of days.
Yeah, the Bible is nothing. I mean, it's just mythological books.
Muhammad's ladder, to each faith's vision of the end of time.
See, all this is a mix of all the of Roman religion.
The second coming.
Yeah, second coming, all that total nonsense.
In each religion.
All originated in the cult of Divus Iulius in Rome.
Is remarkably similar. A battle between the forces of good.
Yeah, they are similar. All these religions are similar because they originated in Rome. Temple of Divus Iulius. When the Jews pray like that, you used to do that in Rome.
All three faiths.
All that is in Rome.
Kidron Valley. The Golden
Christianity, Judaism, and Islam originated. They all take the roots of the cult of Iulius Caesar, Divus Iulius in Rome. I suggest reading this book. The God and Savior, Iulius Caesar Christ, was sacrificed on the 15th of March, the year 44 BCE. In July the same year, during his funeral games, and those of his mother, Venus, the mother of God, a comet appeared. It's called the comet of 44 BCE. And Octavius, his heir, the son of God, he said, oh, my father resurrected. This is proof that he's in heaven. From then on, later on, would originate the many oral traditions and the religion of the cult of the Christus, of Iulius Caesar Christ. It adopted many forms. It got many manifestations along with Jupiter and the different gods and Roman gods, and subsequently Jehovah, and everything was confused. And from those emanated Christianity, and in many divisions, Judaism is many divisions, and Islam is many divisions. That's what it is, and the evidence points out to that. That's where the Star of Bethlehem comes from, the Star of David, and the Star of Islam.